Hello, hello. Welcome, Day Drinking with David. We are back again as usual. Thursday afternoon session. Got a pretty exquisite lineup today. Going full bore on the mostly on the Italian Scotch bottlings. Some very, very special stuff. But we're going to start with some rum. Lots going on this week. I'm sure everybody's very angry they didn't get a bottle of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I hope you mention your problems here with that. That was very quick. We're going back to Kentucky in a couple weeks. How was that wine in the parking lot? Did you see me there? It was pretty good. Yeah, we did Bordeaux tasting in the parking lot this morning, so you may have seen me there. Enjoyed that. Picked out a barrel of Virginia single malt this morning as well. Nice little barrel of American single malt. And and then we're going to Scotland this weekend. So off to Scotland for a whirlwind trip, meeting with our suppliers and trying not to get COVID, and that's the name of the game. So we'll be very, very careful, of course. Not much else to. Oh, we had a Creed. We had a Scannell exclusive full proof 10-year-old that came and went 8 minutes. You guys are slacking, man. Usually it's only 3. Come on, you had tons of time. Any chance the distillery will let you do an IG Live on site? We are not visiting any distilleries. Lefroy has canceled our trip, not the barrel, just the trip, due to COVID concerns. So they won't be sending us to Isla. We will be in Glasgow. Just meetings. So I'm not sure there'll be too much fun stuff, but I will try and pop in, maybe do some Insta stories or something like that. So yeah, very excited for that. We're traveling approximately 36 hours for what I would say is about 72 hours of work. But it's got to be done. So we've got some interesting projects working. We're going to start with a little aperitif, 2 rums, one bottled by our friends at Holmes Key. This is the South African. Did I taste this on here? Does anybody remember? I don't think I did. Maybe I have, but I want to taste it again. So this is the first of a very special pot distillery in South Africa that's really doing it the right way, doing like real deal, high ester, very aromatic, very powerful pot distilled rums, 59% alcohol, from Malolani. I'm not sure that's right. The Fiji is wonderful. Chuck, I'm glad you remember because I don't. And then we're going to try this crazy product from our friends at Silver Seal. This is this was bottled in collaboration with Francesco Mattonetti. It's a blend of small batch blend, about 1,400 bottles. We got 60 bottles for the States. Rock No War, in support of Rock No War. I feel like that's appropriate right now. And then we're moving on after that. We're going to taste through the entire Silver Seal lineup that we have. Well, not the entire thing. There's very, very little left of these, but we will open the 22-year-old Klein Leash from their ridiculously named Whiskey is Classical Music. Whiskey is class ... ickle music. 22-year-old Klein Leash. We'll try this, one of my favorite distilleries, 25-year-old Glengarry. That's Silver Seal with the whiskey antique bottling. And then, I love this label, the 30-year-old Ben Rennis. Proceeds for this bottling go to the Zimbabwe Project, Rock No War, all as well. And then we're going to finish off with the Antique Lions Glenkeith. Pretty fancy Glenkeith. We had a lot of Glenkeiths recently. This one is much more expensive than the ones we've had, but it's supposed to be pretty good. And then we'll finish with the Strathyla. This is the Gordon MacPhail 24-year-old, which is just freaking bonkers good. But let's start with the rum. I'm thinking we should probably start with the Old Navy. This great label. The idea is a blend of Demerara, Barbados, Jamaica. Powerfully fruity, they say. It's supposed to be a recreation of the old style. You know how they do it. Trying to make a... what's the word? Oh gosh, these don't have tabs on them. So bring your knife when you're opening these. I don't have one, so I'm probably going to have to call an audible here. It's going to be hard to get off. You can always just pull it right off. I'll deal with the foil later. Don't know anything about the age. This was bottled in 2018. We got really lucky and connected with our with Silver Seal, and were able to take a good chunk of stock. They're, of course, very expensive. Did you try the uber-aged Dickels you just dropped? No. Those are NorCal guys. They're supposedly excellent. There shouldn't be much vitamin E to them at all. They're all very old whiskeys at a very good price. They will sell quite quickly. Sorry, I haven't been looking at these comments right now. Yeah, someone said about the new arrival page. I don't know what the hell that happened with that. There's a glitch of some kind with the Elijah Craig, so that's why everybody's upset. Rightfully so. That should go on the new arrival page. So I'm not sure what the deal with that is. We do apologize. We have more of those coming, though. We're picking them more out in April. So keep your eyes open for more Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And let's have a taste of this rum. Oh, well, feels very Demerara driven. Port Morant right off the top. Saw the Poutrigu and the Grangerie finally coming soon. So stoked. Nick, I couldn't agree with you more. Some really killer stuff. When I run out of Diablito tequila, would you prefer my arm for the next one, Chuck? You do not need to sacrifice yourself, but I don't know about Diablito. So this has got a little bit of Jamaican funk. It's 57% alcohol. No sugar or color added. I presume some of this is going to be, what's the word? Tropically aged. Normally anything that lasts for more than 15 or 20 seconds should be on the new product page. So, not that it makes a difference, but maybe that's why it took a little longer than normal. There's some sort of glitch there. When are the Hamilton bottles coming? Should be very soon. A lot of good rum questions. Kind of an interesting floral character here. Kind of reminds me of purple flowers, iris. Not lavender. You know me and lavender don't get along. We need more Edradour. I can't agree more. They were supposed to give us 5 cases. They shorted us. They came late. My guys refused the shipment, as they should. Because if they don't come here before 11, you're going to get refused. That's a K&L rule. And, some tea. Kind of a raisiny character. Lots of tea. Black tea. Anyway, we ended up refusing it. Ooh, it's medium body. It's not very hot. I was expecting a little more heat. Nice and dry. Very Port Morant-y. If you're a Port Morant fan, definitely feels like there's some tropical Port Morant in there. I just saw the list for the new colors of rum, which includes some 80s, late 80s single cask Enmore and I Flute, which will be bonkers expensive, of course, but haven't seen those in a while. I was surprised to see that. Wow. Well, that's an unusual blend up. Some butterscotch, some rounder aromas. I guess there's maybe some Barbados, yeah. That's a fun blend. Killer label. It ain't cheap, but 60 bottles for the country, something like that. It's a fun one to have on the bar. Something a little bit different. Moving on to a big boy high ester here. That's the old Holmes Key 2017. Not a lot of people watching today. Only 60 people. Wow. I guess, you know, if you're not doing bourbon, they just all fall off. Oh, well. More Scotch for us. On to, oh, my. Oh, God. That is nuts. Wow. This is pure pepper. Definitely a butyric side here. There's some long fermentation here. Reminds me of, God, what is hard to put my finger on that. Reminds me a little bit of WPE from Worthy Park. It's pretty funky stuff. Some citrus, clovey spice, capsicum, green pepper. Big nose, though. This might need a little water. Let me taste it first. Oh, yeah. Not as much funk on the palate as you might think. Reminds me a little bit of more of like a Foursquare-y heavy pot. Let's try with a little water. It's pretty balanced. This is the Holmes Key MOBA. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. I just don't know. And it's pretty funky. It's pretty funky stuff. More of that kind of industrial plasticine thing coming out. And more pepper. A little bit of butyric for sure. These will be really, really interesting with a few more years on them, I think. This is a really wild rum. That was out there stuff. Not a lot of craft rum that tastes like that. This is a proper distillery right there. Okay, moving on to the single malts. We're going to start with the 22-year-old Klein Leash. This is bottled with the Elixir d'Amour label, a reference to the, I guess, opera. I'm not a big opera guy, so I don't know my opera as well as I should, probably. And I think, yes, you're supposed to pronounce key. I got that wrong the first time I had Eric on the show and was embarrassed later to find out that that's the case. The proof on the Holmes Key MOBA South African rum is 59%, which he refers to as, it's not cask strength, I don't believe. He calls this bottling a barrel proof, which is not the same as cask strength. He makes a distinction. So I think they cut it in the barrel to his preferred proof because he's coming very, very hot. So onward, Klein Leash, you may know, one of my very, very favorite distilleries. I've been to the site a couple of times up in Brora, north of Scotland. So we're talking another 2 hour and a half plus past Inverness, on the, I guess, eastern coast of Scotland, but northeastern, although this is really the northwest of the country. OG, not an opera guy, but let's see if you sing its praises. I do enjoy opera. I'm just not very knowledgeable. Our friend Ilya Haas is a trained opera singer, so every once in a while I can convince him to serenade me slightly. No other questions here. Oh, yes, Klein Leash. Well, pretty classic nose. Lots of waxy pear. These are single barrels bottled. This is a single barrel bottled in 2016. So this has been in bottle for 6 years and distilled in 93. 51.7. It actually doesn't note that it's cask strength anywhere on the bottle, although the person who sold it to us was insistent on such. It's distilled, matured, and bottled in Scotland. So kind of malt driven here. Obviously, you can see the color. Not a big sherry bomb of any kind. Has that very unusual Klein Leashy nose. Gorgeous. Just so perfect on the palate. You know, these are very, very expensive, and I think, you know, if you don't know you're into Klein Leash, it might feel a little bit restrained for some, with a splash of water here. Let's see if we get a little bit more intensity of flavor. Yeah, now we're starting to get some more citrus, lemon peel, lemon oil. It's still quite restrained. I think this is going to need some air to really open up. Big, waxy pear note. I mean, it's freaking Klein Leash. You can't really argue with it. It's delicious. It's old school. It's off the wood. Pure Klein Leash at its best. You know, if you're looking for a big sherry bomb, that's not the whiskey for you. We all remember that signatory sherry monster. They tried to sell us another one. Actually, not in sherry. They've got one on their list this year. It's from the same vintage, so a little bit older, but ex-bourbon. And the wholesale cost on it is about $900. So I feel pretty good about that. People were freaking out about the price a couple of years ago for that heavily sherry Klein Leash. But I'll tell you what, we had a pretty good deal. It's the last one available. So on to Glengarry. This is named for La Norma. Distilled in 1990, bottled in 2016. It is 25 years old. Bottled at 52.1 here. I think it's cask strength, but it does not mention that on the label. These little bottlers are, you know, in Italy are famous for getting access to really interesting, high-quality stuff. I'm a huge fan of Glengarry. You know, this is a distillery that changed a lot over the years, and the modern stuff is still wonderful, but there's something about the pre-closure, closed in 94 to refurbish, and that Klein Leash, it's like this very particular grain note, like this cereal that reminds me of my first trip in the weirdest way to Old Meldrum, where the distillery is. We had gone to the distillery and we'd gotten there early, and we stopped to have lunch, and we kind of talked to the waitress there and asked her what sort of, you know, what people eat in this part of Scotland. The most typical thing that you'd have for lunch would be like, or breakfast, quite early, I guess, maybe breakfast or something, was something they called mealie, which didn't sound particularly inviting, but it is like fried salted oats. And then we went to the distillery and started tasting these whiskeys, and I just couldn't, I've always connected those two flavors. The fried, we had the mealie with, like, you know, blood sausage and some eggs, and then went to the distillery, and there's this direct link between the flavors of that fried oat and the Glengarry distillery, which just has this the Highland heart. Hey Kai, what's up, man? Welcome. That Highland just purity to it. Of course, this part of the Eastern Highlands is the really the bread basket of Scotland, where all the barley, or most of the barley, is grown. And Glengarry, which arguably one of the oldest distilleries, or the oldest, or, you know, Glenturret would argue with that. But there ain't nothing like it. It has kind of a gravelly note too. Have you tried the Sassenach Scotch? Oh, a little bit of peat on that. Oh yeah. Little peat on the Glengarry. That's something that would have been normal there were some very heavily peated ones even further back, but pre-closure, little hint of peat on there. You don't get it on the nose at all, but delicious stuff. This is really, really incredible. Have you tried the Sassenach Scotch? If so, what did you think? I haven't tried it yet. My wife desperately wants us to sell it. What do you think? Should I do it? I guess I need a sample. I don't want to sell it if it's no good. But I guess that guy's like pretty popular. I don't know anything about it. So I've added just a few drops of water. You can't really tell, but it did get quite oily. I wonder if you can see that. So now really opening up the flavors, you can tell when it's really showing that oiliness. Usually there's gonna have a good positive change. That's a better sounding food name than the hot brown in Kentucky. Maybe so, maybe so. Hot brown's sort of a once in a lifetime dish. Don't recommend doing it too often, or you won't live much longer. But okay, now we're opening some more. Much more fruit now with the water. Big fruit note. Again, we're tasting a 25-year-old Glengarry bottled by our friends at Silver Seal. It's a KL exclusive. We are the only ones in the country who stock this. And there were minimal number of bottles. I just couldn't bear to let it sit unopened. Now I can actually taste notes. Because we bought these blind. We had no idea. I mean, I know the reputation. The prices are very high. But cool stuff to sell. Sitting here waiting for the Springbank drop, hoping it'll be like Buffalo Trace, where we watch it go in minutes. It'll be worse than Buffalo Trace. We've only got like 4 cases of Springbank 12-year. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, just insane. I don't know why our allocations have gotten so squeezed. We used to get much, much more, but I guess everybody wants Springbank. The prices are through the roof. I don't know, man. 10, 18, 12 coming. That's pretty much it. The Kilkerran 16, we got a little bit more of that. That's a cool product. And we're getting the regular 12, which is fabulous. So nothing special. No 25, no 30, no local. Just the core range. And they'll sell out in a day. Not even. We're getting 60 bottles of 10-year. It's ridiculous. The prices are loco. Good note. Yes. Yeah. For a period, I was like, I don't want to sell I do want to sell Springbank 10-year for $100, and I'm glad that they're able to get it. But, you know, if anything should be overpriced or priced higher than other things in Scotland, it's Springbank. I mean, it costs them 4, 5, 6 times as much to make a liter of Springbank as any other distillery. This Glengarry is freaking magical. Oh. A little hint of peat, the mealy, the fruit, citrus oil, tons going on there. Oh, I really like that. I think I'm going to bump to the Glenkeith next. It's a very expensive Glenkeith, bottled by, this is selected and bottled by what they call Antique Lions. It's a collaboration between Jens Druitz, Massimo Righi, and Diego Sandrin, 3 names that are important in the whiskey world. Max owns Whiskey Antique, a famous Italian whiskey shop. Diego Sandrin, Lions Whiskey, another one. Whiskey Antique is a bottler. Lions is the whiskey shop. And Jens owns S Spirits. They're friends, and they found this bottling. They do these bottlings together and split them across their different channels. It's matured in bourbon, 47.3, 24-year-old, distilled in 98. Oh yeah, they've got the cool. Oh, the boxes are great. They make great gifts. Of course, these are like luxury level scotches, but I figure people are paying $350, $400 for Macallan 18. You know. Let's give the people what they want. Some fancy stuff nobody else can get. So, Glenkeith, this distillery in the town of Keith, right behind Strathyla, owned by Bacardi, was closed for many years. It's now reopened. Oh, that's a very fruity Glenkeith. It's kind of a experimental distillery. I heard that they were doing distillations with peated water, meaning water out of the peat bogs, see how that affected the whiskeys. I haven't tasted any of those ever, but I have had peated Glenkeith over the years. I forget where we had it. Maybe it's Signatory or something weird like that. This is fun. kind of got a bit of a apple banana thing. Andre, what's up, dude? Welcome. I know I owe you a bottle. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. It's my last one, by the way. This Glen Keith all ex bourbon, and the label designed by Maestro Mr. Mongiardino, who is famous. If you know your Scotch, there's a famous brand, particularly for their incredible labels, called Moon Imports, another brand we've been trying to work with. He was able to get that. Oh, it's the inspiration for the design. I'm not sure exactly, but you've missed some good stuff, Andre. Yeah, we opened the Klein Leash 22, the Glengarry 25, now a Glen Keith 24, and we're going to finish off with Strathyla and Ben Rennis, a real tour of the Highlands here. ETA and Fortaleza Repo, maybe next week. They said there might be some coming. This is very classic Glen Keith. Very, very pretty. Orchard fruit driven. Good maltiness on the palate. It's not, particularly intense or over the top with water. It opens. Zestiness, kind of almost like a kiwi skin type of thing. And out of curiosity, what happened to the bottles you opened after the live stream? Lucas, great question. My bar is filled with open bottles. Many, 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 many open bottles. But yes, the staff mostly gets them. A few things I stashed for myself. This Keith really opened up nicely. Again, these are very expensive. Holy moly, I can smell that South African rum in there. They're unique and special and good. Now I'm going to skip right over just next door, Strathyla. This is a single cask. We have a little bit more of this than the other ones. These other ones, we only have a handful of bottles. I just couldn't let them go untasted. This is a refill hoggy. It's also quite expensive. Strathyla, we've never bottled a Strathyla. It's so hard to get. The famous brand. I don't think they're selling single malt in the States at all. And this is just under 25 years old. Cask strength, bottled in August of 2021 for us specifically. And you'll notice it says our name on the label, which not all the G&Ms do. Sometimes we just pick barrels that they've bottled and take the whole thing. The nose is so good. It's so old school. I mean, gorgeous, just pure apple fruit. Behind it, some honey. Oh my God. Yeah, it's really hard to find this experience. I had to miss the Klein's review, but how would you compare the older upcoming bottles you are bringing in? Older upcoming bottlings bring. This one's very light compared to the more concentrated I've got coming from Hunter Lang. That one's more honeyed and waxy. This one's a pretty bright and fresh, a little zestiness to it. I'd certainly hold off for the Hunter Lang, although I've only got 9 cases. That barrel only turned out 9 cases, which I'm convinced is, they must have sold some to someone else, because we had a barrel of Ardbeg that went missing or sold to somebody else. We had a couple of issues with them. Anyway, I'm meeting with them on next week to discuss what other potential things we can do. So hopefully, I think we did some maybe Cragganmore 25-year partial barrel, stuff like that. So here we are on the Strathyla. This is available. We have a ton of it, although the email just went out, and it is gorgeous. Very, very old school character on the nose and palate. With water, we get much more zestiness on the nose, more lemon oil, citrus peel. And on the palate, it starts to go more tropical as well. Definitely has still some great maltiness to it. You know, Andre, you're right, but at the same time, things are complicated, so we'll make it work. It'll all work out. Would have been nice to have an Ardbeg, but finally, one of my favorite labels in the store. I just couldn't say no to this. 30-year-old Ben Rennis. Another one going to back pretty far. This is an 84 bottle in 2014. Cask number 2268. They actually put the cask number on this one. Looks like, I mean, that's a 480 bottles. It might have been a refill sherry, but they don't mention it. But this is their Whiskey is Nature Wildlife Collection for Whiskey Antique and Silver Seal. Pretty interesting stuff. 56.6. Rookie question. I apologize for the rookie question. Is this the 97 Strathyla 24 year? I don't understand how that works. Well, it was bottled in 2001 in August, so it was distilled before that. Andre, I know, we missed your and my vintage by a year. I've just dated myself on day drinking, but not an 83. I apologize. Yeah, tall guy. So 24 plus 97, bottled in 2001. It took us 6 months to get here, so that's really what the issue is. So they have very specific. Each cask includes its date of distillation. I have the distillation date on this. I think it's early. I think it was February of 97. So that would be, no, maybe it was later in the year. I don't have it offhand. Okay, 84 Ben Rennis. Wow. Did I say 2001? I meant 2021. I apologize. Yeah, 2021 on the Strathyla. My bad, tall guy. You're right on target. A little too much rum before the Scotch tasting, I guess. Ooh, this has a lot going on. Moving more into the kind of industrial notes. Motor oil. Really crystal malt. Oh, wow. Yeah, old school stuff here. We're going to do like a little drop of water to see what happens here. Wow. So it's not super funky or powerful, but it definitely has kind of that weird kind of diesel-y character. It's not smoky. Herbal too. Starting to bring out some anise. It's a little quiet. Sometimes these old whiskeys need air. It's been in barrel for 30 years. And yes, now it's starting to open up. Needs some coaxing. Never go slow with whiskey. Did you taste the wild common tequila? Chuck, I did taste it. It was very, very good Cascaween, as all Cascaween tends to be. This is starting to get some pretty interesting, more sweetness, tons of honey now. Oh yeah, the air is helping a lot. Give your malt a whirl. Why not? Anise, honey. Wow. That machine character, which I personally love. Very, very rare in modern whiskey these days. Motor oil and diesel are not really flavors you seek, huh? Ruku Muku, I do like those flavors. So yeah, if you don't like weird, funky, old school stuff, avoid that. Industrial notes can be great in balance. Yes. A little bit of that camphor smoke. Oh, that is really, really killer stuff. Big Shanto's here. Welcome. You just missed the Ben Rennis 30 year, which some people decided was going to be too funky for them. It's not super funky, but it definitely has this old school, like industrial. It's not smoky. It's this weird, fumey, fabulous character. Not for everybody. So yeah, that was a 22-year-old Klein Leash, 25-year-old Glengarry, 24-year-old Strathyla, just heavy hitter after heavy hitter. Glen Keith, 24. Glengarry, I think, might be my favorite of the bunch, though. We did the Old Navy rum from Silver Seal. And just to top it off, a little Holmes Key Africa MOBA. 4-year-old. So that's the fun today, guys. Petrol, thank you, William. You got that right. That's exactly the word I wanted to use. Petrol, a little bit of Vaseline. Thank you for that. You helped me out, but in the best way possible. So, yeah. That's all I got today. I am giving away a couple of cool things. Not bourbon, though, for once. I have a bottle each of 5 rare single malts. They are the Bruichladdich Octomore 6-year from Silver Seal. It's quite expensive, about $380, but it's very, 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 very rare. Independently bottled Octomore. The Kildalton from Meadowside. That's an Ardbeg, independently bottled single barrel. From the same bottler, that's the Maltman, if you know that brand, which is sort of available here, kind of here and there. There is, I also had pulled aside a Tormore 20-year, Redacted Brothers. If you want one of those, email me. And what was the other one? Kildalton, Octomore, Tormore. Oh, the Secret Space Side, another Meadowside. Did I say that already? The Macallan. So a secret Ardbeg and a secret Macallan. No rum, no special rum today. We have 5 bottles of single malt for people who are interested. They're all quite fancy, but all of them very, very good. That Tormore is bonkers. The Redacted Tormore is about $200. The Kildalton, I think, is, what was it, like $150. The Macallan 10-year sherried Meadowside for $120, I want to say, but I'll have to double check that. So all these heavy hitters that all sold out pre-arrival mostly, that I stashed a bottle for you fun people. It isn't naked though. The Macallan is sherried. It's dark, beautiful, dark and beautiful. So if you want one of those, all you need to do is send me an email, David Girard, Girard at KLWines.com. And the information I'd like to hear from you, just so we don't get is the founding year of the wonderful Ben Rennis distillery and the year that they first distilled whiskey there. And that will get you access to one of those bottles should you be picked. Is there any more Hamden Great House 2020? No. Amazingly, that got closed out, and as soon as it did, it blew out of here. You know the rum guys, they like a deal. Any more Elijah Craig Barrel Proof coming back in stock, Dan? No. No, not of that cask. I'm going to Kentucky in August, and I will have 2 more barrels coming then. Have you tried the Doc Swinson special bottle? Yes, I tried them here on Day Drinking. You can go back and look at my I quite like them. You can go back and look at my notes. Yes, no more Elijah Craig coming. So yeah, 5 bottles of single malt if you want them. You can look at the list online, or you can email me if you need more precise information about what is on offer. Bill, thank you for coming. I've missed you, my friend. And yeah, it's already 2:15. It was a quick hour. Any questions that I haven't addressed already? You guys gonna do any Rebel cast strength picks or Ezra cast strength picks? Yes, we are going to be at the distillery. We are also going to be at MGP. I'm gonna go visit MGP for the first time, which I'm so excited about. I see the rare Armagnacs on coming soon. The Puche Goose. Have you had? Have the Cardinats arrived too? No, the Grangeries are and the Puche Goose first. We're still waiting on Cardinat. Everything is very, very slow. We are visiting Lux Row, MGP, to pick out barrels in April. Any EC available in the store? Just regular EC? Yeah, tons. Barrel proof? No. Didn't see barrel proof on the ECBP pick. Any details? It's barrel proof. It should be barrel proof. I don't know. The new website improvements are killing me at work. Which are those? I'm not aware. Lots of unfamiliar tequila brands on the site. Agave next week? Next week I'm in Scotland, friends, so I won't be here. You think Michter's will ever do single barrel picks? Almost certainly not. It's just not their style. What does KNL stand for? It stands for the owners, the founders' wives, Kay and Linda. Kay and Linda. That's the KNL. The K and L in KNL. Rossville Squid Hive, where we at? I haven't heard yet about that. I'm a huge Rossville fan. Everything but the bottle, which I think is quite ugly, but everything else. Did you talk about the new Dickles? I talked about the fact that Andrew picked those out. We have 5 Dickles. They're all tiny. They're all 17 plus years old. I have 3 more coming. You know, we're really trying to avoid Flintstones vitamin E stuff, so they shouldn't have that. They're all really good according to Andrew, but they'll likely sell out quite quickly, probably before I can get them on here. The question for the Scotch raffle today is the year that Ben Rennis was founded. That's a quick Google search, friends. Can you name 5 or more time? I think I caught them. Ardbeg, Macallan, Tormore, Octomore, and gosh, what was the other one? Now I'm blanking. Ardbeg, Tormore, Octomore, Macallan. There is one more. Here, I can go find out. Are we back? I think we're back. It's a Ben Nevis. 22-year-old Ben Nevis is the 5th one, which I didn't mention yet. So thank you for letting me know. That is Kingsbury. A Kingsbury Ben Nevis. It's pretty expensive, but, you know, pretty badass stuff. That went really, really fast. Someone asked about Grangerie. Where does it rank on the Armagnac scale? It's awesome. Yeah, really, really high quality. Using lots of lots of high quality casks. And then there the older ones that have the Bayless name, the Grangerie name on them are actually distilled at the neighboring property, and they're very, very fun, old school for the price. Excited to see Cowboy Bourbon coming soon. Any deets on when that's dropping? No, unfortunately, I don't have any details on when that's dropping. I like the Funky Dickel, cannot lie. I'm so happy. What Octomore? It's the Silver Seal 6-year Octomore that we bought. Lost audio. I hope we're back. Audio gone. No audio. Yes, back. Back. Great. Cheers. Have a good trip. Thank you. Any plans for carrying El Tequileno? Yeah, we've requested some of the Sassenach El Tequileno. I think I asked for 5 cases. We'll see. The distributor hadn't planned to bring it in, but they're, I guess, bringing it for us. Which distilleries are you going to try and visit in Scotland? We are not visiting any distilleries. We are literally in meetings for 3 days straight. So no no goofy fun stuff. Maybe we'll sneak away to one of the new ones near Glasgow, but I don't know. Could go live with a haggis review. Yeah, probably like hit the stories up. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to do some fun stuff for sure. Hopefully we'll post them here. And yeah, so guys, email me the year that Ben Rennis began distilling. If you want access to one of those 5 very special bottles of Scotch we've got. What Macallan 10 pre-arrival is in the raffle? A recent bottling that sold out. This is the Secret Space Side from the Maltman that we bought from a bottler in Italy. And it sold out. It's 10-year sherry. I have a handful of them. So yeah, maybe we'll get those in your hands. It sold out very, very quickly when we first launched them pre-arrival, and I never tasted it. It's supposed to be pretty good stuff. Who knows? You like my awesome Old Pulteney water glass? Do you remember that deal we had on Old Pulteney 12? Came with a glass. It was like $25, something ridiculous. It's the good old days. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. That Glengarry, man. The Glengarry is nuts. And yeah, if there are any last... ET on the new batch of Springbank Long Grow. Tomorrow. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Lots of mezcal. El Tequila is going to blow up like Fortaleza. We'll see, Chuck. It's not quite as old school, you know. People love that Tahona. You go to the distillery, it's tiny. What Glengarry? This one. This fancy Glengarry, 25-year-old. La Norma. Brian, you're an opera fan, aren't you? Come on. Yes, lots of mezcal in my glass. That's accurate. That is accurate. You know me well, William. You do know me well. Leader's here. Hey, Leader, you missed a great tasting. You would like this whiskey. Ben Rennis, 30-year-old. It's got an elephant on the label. Come on. Proceeds go to help the Zimbabwe project. Rock No War, Italy. Come on. I will enjoy my trip. It's just Glasgow. But I love Glasgow. It's going to be raining the whole time. It's not. It is on the site. It is on the site, Brian. The Glengarry is on the site. It's very expensive, and it's very delicious. Goody. Good. Thank you, Leader. Cheers. Have a great time. And, yeah, I guess I'll probably hit you guys up. You don't see it. Well, maybe it sold out in the last few minutes. You guys are pretty on the ball, so I don't blame you. Email me, Brian, and I'll try and find your bottle. It would be strange for me to taste something that's not for sale. Oops. But, no, I'm pretty sure it's there. Should be under Whiskey is Class, Ickle Music. It's 2 words. Glengarry. Gary. Garrioch. Gary. Although someone did try to sell us a whiskey called Glengarry, Garry, the other day, and I thought that seemed like some sort of, it seemed like a copyright infringement, but oh well. Glengarioch is not the way to pronounce it. Yet people do all the time. Yes, go get your mealy in Old Meldrum, and you'll get an idea of what Glengarry tastes like. Fine distillery. Okay, that's all I got, friends. It's almost an hour now, but if there are any last-minute questions, now your chance. Otherwise, shoot me an email with the founding date of Ben Rennis. If you want one of the 5 bottles in question, the email is davidgerard, Girard, at KLWines.com. That's the Kildalton, the Secret Space Side, the Octomore, the Ben Rennis 22, or there was another one, but I've forgotten. I don't know. Thank you, Brian. We will be very safe as possible, and hopefully be bringing back lots of fun whiskey for y'all. See you next week, guys. I'll be around. I'll either be on the stories or on the live, or who knows. But Can't wait. All right. Be well.